So a couple months ago, one of my dear friends, Fred, from Fred's Frags and Things, he sent me a decant of one of the newest additions to the house of Tom Ford, and that's Cherry Smoke. This guy, right here. Well, unfortunately, my decant's depleted. But what did I think of it? Was it worth a whiff and sniff? Was it worth picking up a full bottle? Well, guys, I'm here to tell you, I did a thing. And I picked up a full bottle, 30 ml bottle, of Tom Ford's Cherry Smoke. And today, I want to share with you my 2 cents on the good, the bad, and the ugly of this newest release from Tom Ford. So stay tuned. Cue that intro. What's going on, my beautiful fragrance family? I hope each and every one of you are doing phenomenal today, and welcome back to My 2 Cents. My name is Brian, and this is the channel all about helping boost your confidence through the art of fragrance, helping you become a lasting scent memory. So if you'd seen my latest video, it was my first haul of 2023, you'd know that I picked up 4 fragrances from Lucky Scent. One of those fragrances, well, I didn't talk about because I wanted to do this video right here. My apologies for not getting it out the next day. Life has been crazy. We'll talk about that more in a live stream very soon. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into my full review of Tom Ford's Cherry Smoke in today's Whiffs and Sniffs. Okay. Just like every other fragrance reviewer out there, I'm gonna, be cliche. I'm gonna show you guys the full, presentation. So here you go. Here's the box. And yes, the label is crooked, and yes, I got this from Lucky Scent. This is a legit bottle, and I don't know if you can see the batch code and all that jazz, but there you go. There's that. But who cares about the box? And now here's the bottle. I'm sure you guys have already seen this. I know fragrance dude Randy over there, he did his full review, but I'm gonna show you anyways. Here's the bottle. Again, batch code information on the bottom if you can see it. But it's not about the cap, it's not about the bottle or the presentation, it's about the juice inside. So in my initial first impressions, I went into it completely blind. I didn't know what the notes were. I don't think the notes were even out anywhere. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the notes right here up on the screen for you, cascading like the intro from Star Wars. So the top notes are going to be cherry. You're also going to get some saffron. In the mid, you're going to get some osmanthus, some apricot, some olive, which is a very interesting note, and some leather. In the base, you're going to get some woodsy notes, you're going to get some smoke or incense, and also some cypriol. But what do I get out of it? What do I smell in it? So in my first impressions, I said I think there's some oud in here. Do I retract that? No, not necessarily, but we'll get into that in a second. So I'm going to wear this as my scent of the day. Why? Because I stinking like this fragrance. I picked up a full bottle. And let's break this bad boy down. Now, right off the bat, loads of dark cherry. I get some really nice natural smelling, bitter, sweet, sour, dark cherry. And what it reminds me of is a liqueur named Cherry Hearing, which is a liqueur that is used in a lot of cocktails, and one of my favorites being the Singapore Sling. If you haven't had one, I suggest you trying one. All right, so you get this almost boozy cherry, but I think there's also some vanilla added into that cherry accord, giving it a nice sweetness, but you're getting that sour quality. I don't get the saffron until later into the fragrance, but I don't get a whole lot of it. Now, when it starts drying down, after, a few minutes, you start getting into the heart notes, and you get that olive, which is a very interesting note, and that's where I think I got the oud from. Because the way the olive and the woodsy notes are done, that olive is adding a slight briny, almost bitter quality to it, mixed in also with that osmanthus, and also that apricot. But that apricot is adding a touch of a lactonic feel to it. Almost a little fuzziness, but also a creaminess to it. And then you get that really nice leather. And I love the way the leather is done in this, which is also where I'm kind of getting a little bit of that oud quality. A little bit of musks. A little bit of a musty woodiness. Now, where Lost Cherry, well, I'm not a huge fan of it. Where Lost Cherry, the cherry in that, it smelled like frickin' a synthetic mess, to be quite frank with you. I'm not trying to discredit those who, absolutely love Lost Cherry, but for me, it was a total miss. I got a decant of it, I was like, this is just, it's not worth it. It didn't last. It smelled like the grenadine that you get at restaurants, which in my opinion isn't actually grenadine. It's just a syrupy concoction of crap, because grenadine is actually made with pomegranate, but the grenadine, you know, that you get in restaurants that you make your Shirley Temples with, it's crap. I just don't like it. It's not supposed to be cherry, and it's also maraschino cherries. Fun fact, the reason that maraschino cherries are bright red the way that they are is because of formaldehyde. But I digress. But the cherry in this is very natural smelling. It's dark, it's deep, it's rich, it's bitter, it's sweet. It's got a little bit of sour qualities to it. But I like this because the way the leather's done in it, it kind of reminds me of Lost Cherry in a sense, but something that a cowboy would wear. Further into the dry down, you're getting these really nice, almost powdery woody notes. I think it's a blend of sandalwood, maybe a little bit of guaiac wood, and a little bit of an oud accord, possibly. Now, the cherry lasts through the entirety of this fragrance. That saffron and that leather are kind of, I think it's a nice accord of the leather and saffron. I don't think it's individual notes. I could be wrong. But I like that it starts getting smoky. It gets incensey, a slight spiciness to that incense. You get some nice powdery woods, a little bit of cedar possibly in there as well. I absolutely love the way this fragrance actually transitions. Now, I love the way it transitions. This is not a love for me yet, but I have a feeling it will be. That's the reason I picked up a bottle. I think this is a great addition to the newer releases of Tom Ford. I think this is a much more masculine addition to the Lost Cherry line. I guess you could call this a flanker. If Lost Cherry, well, you know, was the first, I think that's way more feminine. And I think this leans a lot more masculine. Now, I do believe that any woman would love rocking this fragrance as long as they have the confidence to rock it. And for you men out there, if you like a nice leather, cherry, woodsy, incensey fragrance, this would be great. Like I said, it's Lost Cherry, but for cowboys. And when I said transitions, I love the way this transitions within the first 3 to 4 hours. I mean, you get that real nice, deep cherry, and that folds into a really nice kind of fruity, bitter, almost like tonic leather, and that flows into and kind of blends into a nice smoky incense and nice woods and a nice almost powderiness. I really enjoy it. So let's talk about longevity. Longevity is actually really good. I get a good 7 to 8 hours of longevity. I do spray on my clothes, as you all know, and I enjoy spraying it on my clothes because I actually get a little bit of a better sillage from it. Now, as for performance and sillage, I would say it's decent. All right, in the first hour and a half, maybe hour and 45 minutes, possibly 2 hours, you get a good projection out of it. But then it kind of just sits soft on the skin. Now, I can smell this up to that 8-hour mark, but that cherry does die off. It's slightly there, but it's more on the woods, that sandalwood, a little bit of that powderiness, and that nice incensey smoke. Now, that's the good. There isn't a whole lot of bad to say about cherry smoke. I think the blending of this fragrance is superior. It's Tom Ford. It's a private blend. It's a luxury fashion house. I mean, but with it being a luxury fashion house, here comes the ugly. This 30 ml cost me $240. $390 for a 50 ml. I opted out for the 50 ml because, well, first of all, I have a giant collection. I'm never going to go through an entire 30 ml of this. Tobacco Vanille is my favorite Tom Ford fragrance, and I still haven't, I mean, I've ran through a 50 ml, but I still have my 30 ml, and I still haven't ran through it. And I've had it for 5 or 6 years. But do I think it's worth it? Well, I did pick up a bottle. So absolutely, I do think it's worth it. But here's why. I budget out fragrances into my yearly budget because I love fragrances. And I make enough income to where it's okay for me to pick up fragrances like this and Raja Doves and all these different other, luxury brands that I thoroughly enjoy. But what I will say is if you don't make enough income or if you don't find it worth it, then it's not worth it. And for those of you who don't think it's worth it, I totally get it. 1000% totally understand. Because I will say this, cherry smoke is so good, they're gonna clone it. just like they did with Lost Cherry. And in fact, most of the clones of Lost Cherry are better than the original. That's in my opinion. So, if you just wait a little while, I'm sure you're gonna find some clones out there that are gonna last longer. They're gonna be almost cherry smoke. Not 100%, but close. I guarantee a Duo will do one, Alexandria Fragrances, Making Sense, all these clone houses, they're gonna dupe it. I promise you that. But as for me, I'm happy to have my 30 ml of cherry smoke. To me, it's worth it. But that's my opinion. Let me know what your opinion is. Drop me a comment down below. Also, drop me a comment down below if you have tried Tom Ford Cherry Smoke. Let me know what your 2 cents are. You know I'm always curious to know what your thoughts are. But that's it, guys. I've got a lot of things to do today. That is my full review. In my opinion, do I think Tom Ford Cherry Smoke is worth a whiff and sniff? 100%. But my suggestion to you is get yourself a sample or decant and see for yourself. That's it for me today, guys. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day. And if you enjoyed today's content, then do me a favor and like, comment, share, and subscribe. And always remember, you are stinking beautiful. And until next time, happy scent trails.